What is going on, guys? Coming to you with a review video um, of a comparison video. Here we have the LIONSCOOL V4. Here we have the MIKOLO and GMWD. Oh, I got it right that time. All right, making progress. And I'm just giving you a side-by-side comparison. We're just going to jump right into it. One, you can tell right away the size is a little bit different. This one is definitely larger, takes up a little bit of a larger footprint, slightly because the seat is bigger. The seat on the MIKOLO is made to where they'll show you 8 different exercises you can do, bicep curls, hip thrusts, all those kind of things. However, I don't really use mine for that. I literally use it for hamstring curls, leg extensions. But yeah, as again, you can see is significantly larger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys my personal pros and cons of both, if you will, and go from there. So let's go over the pros. The pros I will say are with the MIKOLO is that you have the laser engraved numbered holes with the placement here, right? And you also have it here, right? It doesn't number all of them. It goes 1, skip 3. So it's like 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7. Same thing on this one. It goes same thing 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, and such, right? I found that to be significantly, to me, better than on the LIONSCOOL, because on LIONSCOOL, it's just pretty much you're just trying to feel how far you're moving back, right? How far your leg placement is going. While it's not a huge deal, it's something that after a while you're kind of like, man, if you're using it consistently or using it with someone else, it makes it easier just to remember where your hold placing is. So it's one of those little things, right? It's one of those little things to where it's easier just to jump in your set, boom, pop the pin, goes to the number you know you should be at and go. This one, you get it, you think you got a set, like, nope, that's not it. Let's readjust, go from there. This one has a wider seat than the MIKOLO. Than the LIONSCOOL, which for me personally, I found if you're a bigger person with wider hips comes into play, it gives you that little more foundation, if you will, to sit down on and actually be able to really, really drive. And when it comes to the leg extension and hamstring curls, I have noticed for me personally, the strength curve on this one is better in the hamstring curls, right? To me, it's better in the hamstring curls. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what it is. I think it may be the angle on it, or maybe it's that true, like they said, 1-to-1 ratio. But to me, it feels a lot better, the hamstring curls on this one, than the LIONSCOOL. I've noticed that when I'm doing my leg extensions, it feels about the same. There's not much of a difference on that end. So that's comparable. And I notice that, oh, excuse me. I noticed that it is more comfort. And another pro with the MIKOLO is that, again, maybe something small, but when compared to the LIONSCOOL, the end cap on your leg roller, it's not coming off. It's set in place. It's not going to move. The LIONSCOOL, it's not really set. It can slide off if you do enough movement, right? I didn't see too many people talking about that, but I noticed that when I got this one and I was able to compare them both side by side. So with that being said, let's talk about some of the cons of the MIKOLO. While there are not many, and while they are very minuscule, if you will. One of the biggest cons, the padding. The padding of this seat is very, very thin. I put on 2, maybe 3 plates, and it is just not, it is not very comfortable behind the knees. Especially when you're driving that weight up and you get to about here and it's pressing into the pad, it is not very comfortable. The back pad doesn't really make much of a difference. The leg roller is where I noticed the seating pad here. It was not one of my favorite things since I've been using it, because again, I've noticed that it is uncomfortable once you get us to a significant amount of weight. Honestly, guys, that is probably my only con, I will say, of the Mikolo, which to me, I think is probably the best budget hamstring curl leg extension on the market today for the price point, right? The way it feels, the way it moves, to me, this is probably the best bang for your buck with the features that it offers, with the lasered engraved numbers, with the pop pins. Super easy, everything's just so smooth about it. The only thing I will say, I guess another con, but again, it's a very minor con, and that is when it gives you these numbers here. It gives you 1, 2, 3, 4. Because of how it's made and where your feet end up hitting, you're never going to really be able to use 1, 2, or 3 unless someone else has figured this out. I've never been able to use 1, 2, or 3 because of where the framing underneath is placed, which to me is perfectly fine. But it's just one of the things where it's like, okay, like I have room to get back a little bit further, but again, because of where the framing is set up, you really can't. If you take off your shoes, maybe get a little bit back further, but not too much. But the workaround I've figured is that adjusting the leg roller, right, to be in a different position kind of takes up some of that space as well. Another very minuscule is that, and I think it's just because of how they're made, like the LIONSCOOL does the same thing, is that it has that pivot point to where it's not locked in, if you will, right? When you go to use it, it's locked in, but you see that movement, right? It is what it is. What I've noticed that kind of helps with that is if I pull myself in, I don't have as much of it on this one, and I'm happy with that. Now, one of the things I did see someone say is that they loaded it up and they noticed that this arm had a tilt to it. So what I wanted to do is that I wanted to do it on the live video here. Is what I'm going to do is load it and see what ends up happening when I load it with a skull. Again, supposedly it can hold, I think it says 400 pounds. I could be wrong. But again, I'm never really using it for that much weight for leg extensions. That's just not my thing, I guess. So that's 2 45s. Let's see. I'll move the camera so you tell me if you guys see any variance with I don't feel like it. I don't think it is. That's 2 plates. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Let's go 3 plates and see what happens. Now it'd be crazy if it does break live on this piece, and then we have an issue, right? If it does, it does, right? But let's see. And this is 345s. That's 345s. And I didn't really notice much of unevenness with the leg roller. So again, that's just me. All right. Now let's jump into the LIONSCOOL. Now, excuse the mess in the background. Put you guys over here. Now, with the LIONSCOOL, let's get into the pros. The pros is the padding. So much better. Like the padding on this one is so much better. And you can actually, if you can see where it wrinkles up on this one pretty quickly. I don't know durability from a long-term standpoint, if that's going to be a matter. I feel like it will. But I could be wrong. But the padding on the LIONSCOOL is so much better, feels more premium, feels more like commercial grade, I guess, if you will. It's just thicker, it's more solid, right? The seat is definitely smaller. So if you are a bigger person or have wider hips, you don't have that much room to really, you have to keep your legs like close, which I guess for some people are fine. Me, I like to fit as naturally as possible. So naturally, I would want to probably be like here, hip width, right, is where I would want to be. But because of how narrow the seat is, you have to have this in close, right? That's one of the things I noticed about the LIONSCOOL right away. Now, with that being said, it is still very, very comfortable. The padding is better. You feel like you're in it, right? You still have that pivot, right? You can see that. You still have that pivot point. With this one, same thing. I notice if I, again, just pull myself into my seat, boom, knock them out, I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about anything. With this one, I noticed that I feel like I get a little bit better of a range of motion for the leg extension. I feel like I get a little bit better of a range of motion for a leg extension. For whatever reason, maybe it's the angle it's on, maybe it's, I don't have that, I still have that bar, but I feel I get a little bit better of, hold on, there we go, for the leg extension, but not that much, right? The leg roller on this one is wider for sure. Like I wish the leg roller on that one was the width of the seat. That to me would be a lot better. On the LIONSCOOL, it is wider, so you have a little bit more room for placement. However, because the seat is so narrow, you find yourself that you're like on the edge of the seat here, so therefore it kind of defeats the whole purpose having a wider leg roller than you do the seat. With that being said, one of the things I did notice, one of the cons that I kind of talked about earlier, was that this leg roller right here has a tendency to, as you move, it starts to move with it, right? And you can kind of see the gap it creates. It's nothing really holding this in place from coming off. This can slide on and off, right? I wish they would have put something on the end cap here to kind of hold it in place, which they probably will do in the V5, which probably comes out sometime soon, maybe. But does it inhibit anything? No. Will over time you notice that it starts to adjust? Yes, right? It's still super smooth, super user friendly. But I feel like from a size comparison, again, I'm 6'1", 235. I feel like it is good, but it feels a little small to me because of how much more room and space that one is. I feel like that one is better if you are a taller person. I say 6 feet, maybe 5'11" and above. You're gonna like the Michelo a lot better because it gives you more room, more space, right? Again, hamstring curls to me are better on the Michelo. One of the reasons that I'm not 100% sold on this one, like I did my original review, I brought this up before, is that when you bring that out, it doesn't pop in. It doesn't just set it in place. You have to make sure you find the right space for it to go in. And then also because there's a gap here, there's a lot of movement. Like it's 2 pivot points. On there, it is 1 pivot, 2 pivot points. But the placement of the one on the Michelo is behind the seat and underneath the seat. The one on this one are right where your butt is. So you have this big giant gap here, which, yeah, you can do with it. You can cover it up with a towel, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You have this big giant gap here, right? You have this gap here, right? So I found when I'm doing my hamstring curls, this can be a little bit of an annoyance, right? If you don't have like a towel there, anything like that, right? And then also, right, this is me not applying too much pressure because of how many pivot points it is. That kind of bothers me with the LIONSCOOL. And I'll show you guys again on the Michelo, because of that pop pin, you coming out, put it in place, sets it, is good to go. Then on this one, right, you have that little bit of a gap, but because of that, you don't have much of a wobble at all. So I'm trying to get it to wobble a little on the seat, barely, but not anything crazy, right? On the LIONSCOOL, you have that wobble. Now, on the LIONSCOOL, you do have that ability. I call it the double horn, right? Where you can put weight on the inside and weight on the outside. While that is nice to be able to have plates, to be able to do that with, what I've noticed is that when you put plates on the inside, and depending on how you set up, right, those plates can sometimes get in the way depending on what weight you're using, how your elbows move, things like that. This horn can get in the way of the arms. That's one thing that I noticed, which is why I prefer doing the hamstring curls on the Michelo. While it is still smooth, I also noticed there's a drop off once you get to, hold on guys. There is a drop off once you get to, and I'm showing you without me laying on it because I've done it so many times. Like once I get to about here, the weight drops off. And I think that's with any, or mostly plate loaded because of the way it's set up and the way the cam, but I don't feel it nowhere near as much on the Michelo. Like when I get to about here, I have no resistance from here to there. It just kind of falls off to me personally. And I've played with the adjustments and all that kind of stuff. It still doesn't give me that resistance, that strength curve that I'm looking for. Because I think maybe because of the way the cam is set up compared to where this one is set up, I think that may be the difference. This one, again, is much better, much more true to weight. If you are looking or trying to decide on, if you're trying to decide on which one of these to get, I will say this. If you are a tall person, long legs, hip width a little bit wider than your average person, and you want a true strength curve on the leg extension and hamstring curls, I would say go with the Michelob. The Mikolo. If you are someone who's maybe 5'10" and below, hips not that wide, and you don't mind the narrower seat, go with the LIONSCOOL. Price point, they're both the same, I believe. I think this one is $399. This one's $379. Black Friday's coming, so they're probably going to be discounted to like $330, $320. So either one of these would work. But again, keep that in mind from a height standpoint. But I think this is the overall better build because of the reasons that I named, the reasons I called. Like assembly wise, they're about the same. Nothing crazy with assembly. I think again, my biggest pet peeve is the width of that seat, the movement in those pivot points of when you're doing hamstring curls and that gap that it creates. Those are my biggest pivot points. Like I wish I could take that seat padding and put it on this one, and then that would blow the LIONSCOOL out of the water, hands down. Like to me, that would blow the LIONSCOOL out of the water. While even I think what ended up happening, like LIONSCOOL came out with theirs around the end time of Right Fit. I can't pronounce it. I think it's Right Fit, something like that. And then Michelo, they have their, the hell was that? Michelo has theirs, and they came out with theirs after. They probably saw like, oh, okay, that's nice. And this was maybe in the works. If you look on Walmart, there's one that's the Syddee, Syddee, and it looks very similar. And I think it might be the same, but where the difference is, you'll notice on that one, it doesn't have the laser etched numbers and up here or at the bottom. It looks like it has the same holes, top and bottom, but they're not laser etched with the numbers. I noticed that, and there's a couple things else I noticed about it as well. But besides those numbers, it looks to be about the same. It looks to be about the same machine, same price almost, right? So again, from a fact of if I can only pick one, and I was like, you know what, which one would I go with? Hands down would be this one. That would be like a backup if this one was sold out, right? Or if I never used this one or never had this one, I would probably be okay. But again, that movement right there, like that annoys me. Yeah, I know it's a budget machine, but that just annoys me a little bit. So, but again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you found value in it, give me a like, comment. I appreciate you guys. I'm trying to get that road to 1,000 likes, 1,000 subscribers. And right now, I think I'm sitting at 85, I want to say. So I'm almost at 100. So I thank you, 85, for who have paid attention and locked in with me. I definitely appreciate that because all of my reviews that I do on the equipment that I get is nothing that was sent to me, nothing that I've been paid to do. I've bought them with my own money. I left honest feedback. And even if I get to the point, hopefully I do get to the point to where companies want to send me things to review and they are understanding that it's going to be an honest, upfront, with integrity review, because that's just how I am. I think people should have an honest, straightforward review, no BS, because you're spending your hard-earned money. I'm going to do the same. So hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I appreciate you. I thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me for more content, guys. Deuces.